It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is the afternoon edition for Tuesday, the 29th of November. I'm James Spann. A very significant severe weather event will be unfolding across the Deep South in coming hours. We'll take a very close look at tonight's event, weather for the next 7 days beyond. A lot of things going on here, so let's dive right in. This is the water vapor satellite view. A very impressive trough is west of the state, a vortex coming around the base of the trough through New Mexico. That will be rotating through, enhancing the lift and the dynamic support for storms tonight. Temperatures are in the 70s. Dew points are now in the 60s along and south of Interstate 20. The dew point at Auburn is up to 67. Those dew points will keep on moving northward tonight. Some spots will be approaching a dew point of 70 later this evening. And this is the instability coming off the SPC page about 2:30 this afternoon. Already we're seeing surface-based capes of about 500 joules up to Birmingham and Anniston. And again, those numbers will be increasing steadily tonight, probably reaching 1,500 joules later. That means the air is quite unstable. We'll check the radar, and boy, this really doesn't look good. This is the radar coming out of Jackson at 226, and you can see a lot of those kidney bean-shaped supercell-looking storms forming rapidly in the vicinity of a warm front lifting northward through there. There's one tornado warning in effect, and I'm afraid we're going to see multiple tornado warnings and maybe some long-track tornadoes in Mississippi and just maybe northwest Alabama tonight. This is a look at the tornado watch in effect west of the state. Parts of Mississippi, Louisiana till 9 o'clock. Tornado watches will be extended eastward later tonight. This is the convective outlook, the updated outlook, and you can see now we have a moderate risk of severe storms over north-central Mississippi. Let's take a closer look at that. And again, you can see that moderate risk. The area in red is from near Tupelo down to the Mississippi Delta. That's where some long-track violent tornadoes are possible this evening and tonight. So obviously our friends in the Magnolia State will have to watch this very carefully. They are basically in the bullseye. But note, the enhanced risk does include northwest Alabama, parts of Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin, Marion, Lamar, Fayette counties. And again, we could see some tornado activity there. And the standard slight risk runs all the way over to Gadsden, Prattville, down to Mobile. The marginal risk extends down to a point south and east of Montgomery. And this outlook goes through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. These are the tornado probabilities. And again, notice they've up to 15% now in the moderate risk area. And that cross-hatched area means there could be some significant tornadoes in there, including northwest Alabama. Of course, we'll talk about that as we go. Tomorrow, day 2, a marginal risk from the Gulf Coast up to the Middle Atlantic coast in Alabama. And understand, this is from 6 a.m. on tomorrow. The moderate risk is from near Utah and Cullman and Huntsville to the south and east, and the main threat tomorrow will be from strong straight-line winds. But on the positive side, how about that rain for the next 7 days? The bullseye about Cullman, 5.5 inches, as we have another rain event coming up at the end of the weekend, beginning on Sunday. So, again, the rain situation looks very good here. But let's just dive into the atmospherics tonight. This is 11 o'clock tonight, Central Time. Dew points, upper 60s. Very juicy, volatile air mass. The instability values accordingly rise. And again, the instability peaks over central Mississippi at 2,400 joules. But around here, the values are up to 1,500 joules per kilogram. And that's certainly adequate for severe weather here in the cool season. Storm relative helicity values are maxed out over the northwest part of the state, up in that area where there's the enhanced risk. And this is what the STP looks like tonight at 11. And again, you can pretty much see in that circled area, that's going to be your higher tornado threat at that point. So our friends in west and northwest Alabama will have to watch for the possibility of storms with tornadoes, large hail, damaging straight-line winds tonight. In terms of the timing, this is the general idea for that northwest Alabama area, 8 o'clock until 4 a.m. Pretty big windows here. I think the main tornado threat probably comes before 2 a.m. And then for Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, we'll say 2 until 9 a.m. tomorrow in the pre-dawn hours. And then for Southeast Alabama during the day tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And, of course, understand those windows are approximate. They could change, but that gives you a broad idea of what to expect tonight. But everybody needs to have a way of getting severe weather warnings. Weather radio, be sure it's programmed properly. Be sure that there's a good battery backup. Have a good smartphone app, the one we like, Weather Radio by WDT. Just be sure you can hear warnings in the middle of the night because inevitably we're going to have some tonight. Now, this is tomorrow. Trough axis is beginning to rotate through. The rain will be ending from northwest to southeast during the day. In fact, this is 5 a.m., and at that point, the storms are coming on through Birmingham and Gadsden and Greensboro. And I think they'll, be out of north-central Alabama by late morning for sure. And maybe some clearing late tomorrow afternoon. This is Thursday, a sunny and cool day. We start the day in the 30s. The high will be in the upper 50s. And Friday, same thing, sunny and cool, 30s and 50s. Now, for the weekend, here comes our next wave to the west, but for us, we're still dry. Clouds will probably start to increase at some point during the day. But again, we start the day in the 30s. The high will be around 60. And Sunday, we go wet again as a warm front begins to lift northward. No severe weather on Sunday, just periods of rain. High will be in the 50s. We're still wet on Monday, and this is a week from today, Tuesday, the 6th of December, big trough in the western states, and again, we're still wet. So looks like a good rain event for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And as that trough lifts out, look what happens here. This is Wednesday night of next week. Very deep surface low north of St. Louis, a blizzard going on in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and that would be another severe weather setup if this verifies. And understand this will change a lot. It's more than 7 days out, but just something to watch for. And this is the end of the forecast period. This is Friday of next week, the 9th of December. Very deep trough over the east and very cold air flooding in here. That might be the coldest air so far this season. Easily. That might get us some spots down in the teens, so be aware of that. Check the numbers quickly, and again, you can see how we cool down after this thunderstorm event tonight and tomorrow. And again, I wouldn't be shocked if those numbers were to come down at some point in about 8, 9, 10 days with that air mass we just showed you. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream or the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Stay aware of the weather, and God bless.